So this is weird. There's this guy, is Bedhead Fitness. He's a subscriber of mine. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But he sent a comment to one of Capn Cummins' videos, the one that says Cal Exit at the top in the thumbnail. And he railed off on a whole bunch of political issues and then said he was going to unsubscribe from me and Diversity for the way that we review comics, because he's mad at the way Capn Cummins reviews comics. So Captain sent me this message just to show you that I don't, float around trying to find people's comment sections on YouTube to talk about. But since he did, I figured, okay, that's kind of an invitation, so I'm going to speak about it a little bit. So please bear with me for just a little bit and let me indulge for tonight, and I apologize. We'll get right back to the comics tomorrow. And his comments at this point have been edited, so forgive me on that, and I am not finding this important enough to turn off my fan and sweat my ass off, so forgive the background noise as well. So let's get into this. He starts off as saying, I find these concerns interesting. Not long ago, a president with a true mandate was consistently attacked. And I don't exactly think he knows what he's talking about here. I think he means that Hillary Clinton got most of the popular vote, therefore she had the mandate. But what it means back then and what it meant this time, both of them are on equal standing, that not only did they win the presidency, but they won both the House and the Senate. So he's not wrong that Obama got the mandate, but the thing is Trump won that as well. Threatened with impeachment, and states like Texas talked of secession. That is actually not true. Those conversations happened in a climate where ATF officers were surrounded and threatened by hundreds of ranchers armed with gun sights on them in Nevada to protect a rich rancher. Okay, let's start with point A. Governor Perry never actually talked about secession. So here we go. Reporter Kelly Shannon asked him, "Some have associated you with the idea of secession or sovereignty for your state." Perry says, "I think there's a lot of different scenarios. Texas is in a unique place. When we came into the Union in 1845, one of the issues was that we should be able to leave if we decided to do that. My hope is that America, and Washington in particular, pays attention. We've got a great union. There's absolutely no reason to dissolve it. But if Washington continues to thumb their nose at the American people, who knows what might come out of that. But Texas is a very unique place, and we're a pretty independent lot to boot." And there was one time where at a later date, he made a joke about it, but he laughed, everybody laughed, and it was assumed and known that he meant it as a joke. And point B was to do with the Bundy Ranch, which was more about states' rights than anything. I disagree and agree with what happened, because apparently he didn't want to pay his fines because they were taking care of the land themselves, and but that's not the way it works. You can pay an extra $15,000 in taxes this year, but if you're taxed $15,000 next year, you can't say, "Hey, just take it from last year, the extra stuff I gave you." It doesn't work like that. So I see him being in the wrong, but they were granted by the state permission to graze on the land, and then the federal government came in, so it ended up being a state versus federal rights argument, and that's where I disagree with the state, but that's neither here nor there. The cops didn't end up surrounded by the ranchers. They actually ended up holed up in a building, from what I understand. Of course, I could be wrong. I may be the wrong one in this one, but I'm pretty sure that's how it ended. Either way, both my description and Bedhead's were oversimplifications of the issue. Now, I know that fake news is a real thing among Trump supporters. Fake news is a real thing among fake news sites and people who want to, rather than tell the story, they try to sell the story in their light, or their perspective, I should say. So, and that's what fake news is. It's not saying the guy jumped off the cliff. It's saying the evil guy jumped off the cliff onto an innocent person's highway. It's the way they want to lean a story. That to me is the fake news, and try to find somebody who's not. except for on YouTube. I've been actually finding real people who just want to show you what's happening on YouTube rather than the main ones. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm sure many readers, if not yourself, he's talking to Captain, remember, can't accept Trump as a minority president. Well, he's white. Yes, he won the Electoral College by 200,000 votes in 10 states. It's the narrowest margin. No, that wasn't a narrow win. That wasn't a narrow win at all. He did not win the popular vote. Okay, this is going to piss some people off, and I apologize in advance. Yeah, he did. He absolutely did. Get rid of the Electoral College all you want, and Trump won 31 of the states, and we live in the United States, meaning Florida votes for who Florida is going to vote for president, Kansas votes for Kansas, California votes for California, so forth and so on. So 31 to 19 was pretty much a landslide for Trump on that point also. We don't live in the we don't live in America and count the entire country one vote, one vote. That would be wrong in my opinion, because California's needs are not the same as Idaho's needs, which are not the same as New York's needs. So New York should have the right to vote for whom New York wants to, or Florida should have the right to vote for whom Florida wants to. But let's move on. Now I'm just going to move ahead a little bit. He calls Trump incompetent, which I think Trump's been proving people that he's not, left, right, and center. So, I mean, you may think he's an evil son of a bitch, but incompetent, yeah, I wouldn't call him that. Then he goes off on SJW writers, the activist-style writers, and of course, I'm going to agree with him on this part. I don't think that they should be pushing their agendas. I don't mind if they bring diversity into comics. Just write them like people. That would be cool. Stop pushing politics. And he seems to agree with that on this point, so there's no argument here. And then he gets to what I believe the point of the video is for real. I digress. I like your channel and appreciate the work, and it's interesting to me when we disagree, which is quite frequent, as it is when we agree. What I dislike and have trouble accepting is the premise sitting at the top of this video. And this is the video in question, and damn, Cap, wish I could have your numbers there, huh? That Trump distaste should be surprising, and that it's shocking that he is frequently attacked. It's not shocking at all. If you listen to the news, even this attack on the GOP, that wasn't shocking. A lot of the people on this side of things were waiting for something like that to happen because it's been ramped up so much. So let's get down to the other part that I find relevant. I have a wish that would make me a subscriber. Now at this point, and I pointed this out to Capn Cummins, so I'm not saying anything out of line here. But it seems to me at this point, because he says these words, I have a wish that would make me a subscriber. One, he is not right now a subscriber to Capn Cummins. And two, he is saying these are my, this is what I need from you in order for me to become a subscriber. I'm on the verge of unsubscribing Diversity Comics and Grove of Eglantine and allow me to enjoy your content more consistently. You are able to be subscribed to all three of us. We may talk about similar things, but we're actually different people. And even this video, I've hit some, and I know Capn Cummins just did one, I'm hitting points that he didn't, or have a different point of view on points that he did. So it's okay for you to actually be subscribed to all three of us. That being said, let's continue. Allow me to do consistent. Okay, so here's the points. Try to weigh the value of the comic on merits first. I've seen his reviews. I've seen Capn Cummins. He is brazen, but I have seen, he will say, well, the art's bad, the writing's bad, blah, blah, and then boom. And sometimes the writing is bad because it's so one-sided. It is the politics that make it bad. And you do stuff like this, and even Bedhead has said here, he has assigned motives. He has assigned feelings to other people. And when comic books do that, that is bad writing. When they're saying, oh, the Trump people are evil because they voted for Trump, well, that's a circle now, isn't it? It doesn't exactly explain things. I've got off point here. I'm trying to read along to it, and when I'm doing it, merits of the creator's social views, and okay, bring the creator's social views in when necessary, or when they affect the comic positively or negatively. One more thing. If you have somebody who is assigning you a motive by saying that this character is like the people you are and therefore you must think this, then it weighs. It does affect the comic whether you're going to like it negatively or positively. Second, and leave the broad stroke political preference comments and attacks to the side unless it's crucial to argue the point. Well, that's just saying the same thing. Leave it aside. Yeah. So I get exhausted by Trump apologists. You know, I've seen a lot of us attack the social justice warrior, but I've never actually heard any Trump apologies when it comes to either diversity, myself, or Capn Cummins reviewing comics. I've never said, hey, you damn people who don't support Trump. When we argue comics, it's usually that we see, like, say, we see Nick Spencer casting America as Hydra. America is Hydra in that. He just sees it as evil, and so he's saying, hey, look, this is how you're treating people, and it's horrible. That's when we get political outside of just jumping on the social justice warrior. Otherwise, it's all been us attacking the social justice warrior, and by that, and it is all usually the gender politics, or it's just based on the fact that we believe that individual justice is a lot more fair than social justice. Okay, get it. I get exhausted. Trump apologists cannot look at him objectively, comparatively, and it's still. Once again, you're projecting here, dude. I'm not saying you can't, but these forums frequently draw out those who can't. Well, I can't. Capn Cummins, nor Diversity can help who is subscribed to us and who comments. I'm not certain you can because you are painting Trump as powerful. Now, I don't know what Capn Cummins did to do that. I know I have not. My brother is extraordinarily liberal, so he and I both try to keep politics out of it, or our normal discussion is going to be a yell fight. You know, I don't talk politics around here. He doesn't talk politics on the channel. We may touch upon it, you know, but it's never complete and total, you suck, and we're not going to bring that in. This might get us talking a little bit because of some of the politics I've mentioned, but in general, we keep it off. So whatever you're reading, you're not reading that here. Let's see, something that is until you realize the majority of them are being tied up. Oh, he's talking about the executive actions. Right now, you've got some courts that are very left-leaning, tying up stuff that if there were any other, and they've said as much, if there were any other president, some of them are being tied up because of what he said in his campaign. And they just, well, what he means is, and the judges have actually said this. I know, shoot, I think it's the one in California, or is it the one in Hawaii who said that about the 3-month inconvenient to try to make sure that no more Omar Mateen bill came through. Alrighty, let's see, simple legality of conflict interest. If Cali wants to square up with Trump, I'm sorry to inform you, they are carrying better cards. No, they're really not. And here's the thing. I may have defended Governor Perry, excuse me, I've been talking for a long time now, on what he said, but the truth is I would not be for secession from any state. Sorry if my voice is moving around, I'm looking for my drink. And here's why. One, I don't believe in dissolving the union, and two, here's the thing. If Texas or California secede from the union, I would not doubt that as soon as they can gather the army, Mexico will invade to get those states back. And then they'll just turn around and go, hey, guys, we were just kidding. Can you come save us? I mean, that's what I think would happen. Of course, I have no evidence of it, but that's just my opinion. But anyway, reach the end of this. Now, I don't know why, I don't understand why he would say he wants to unsubscribe. Maybe after this he'll want to unsubscribe. It just doesn't make sense. What kills me about it is if you want reviews that have nothing to do with politics, I do 2 videos. One, both me and my brother. I can't take credit alone because he does a lot of reading and writing as well. We do 2 videos. One is on independent comics and one is on Marvel and DC, where together these 2 videos cover over, sometimes 50, sometimes over 50 comic books a week, and we don't bring politics into it. We do 1-minute reviews, and it's all about the merits of the book. Is it good? Is it bad? That's it. So you're bringing me into this, and you literally could watch a video. You have proof on my channel that I review comics based on merit. And that's just wrong. Guys, come on. One's called Marvel versus DC, and the other one, I haven't gotten a set title for it, but I do like Independence Day. And that was the title of the last one. And both of them, at least 20 independents are reviewed, and all the Marvel and DC comics are reviewed. So you're going to get 50 or more comic books reviewed without politics being brought into it. So don't lay this stuff about me being too political in my reviews. Yes, stuff like the Iceman, maybe America, I bring those in. Individual comics, hey, I'm guilty. I'm thinking of doing the Secret Empire this week, or, you know, may or may not. I can't promise that. Can't say that politics won't come into it. But anyway, at this point, I'm just ranting and raving and just saying, you're wrong. You're wrong about me, at least. And I know I've read, I've watched Diversity, and I've watched Capn Cummins. They'll tell you the merit. They may talk politics. Diversity? Does he really? I know he puts SJW into every title. If he had a whole video of him sitting down eating a peach, he'll title it SJW Marvel Can't Stop Me From Eating This Peach. Yeah, but that's because we've got to get asses in the seats, and that's one of the biggest clicked and checked on, searched for phrases in comic books. SJW Marvel. That's all we got. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point. So what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Let us know in the comments below. If you talk about politics, keep it civil. Talk about the subject, not the person, please. Also, if you like videos like this, in all honesty, there just are not videos like this on this channel. Not very often. But hey, click like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already anyway. And don't forget to go either to the VidMe link or the Patreon link and toss $1 into the till, because that'll definitely help us out and appreciate that. But most importantly, thank you very, very much for watching.